Okay. Okay. Hold on. Let me grab this real quick. Yeah. Hello?
You awake yet?
I'm about to start recording my first podcast right now.
Oh my god, you loser.
I'm literally right in front of the microphone and the camera, and the phone rang because I forgot to turn it off.
You're a loser. Hey,
What's up?
so there's this new thing on Southwest. Did you get it?
Yeah, I did get it. Yeah. I saw it.
Yeah. So I was able to save like $2,000 for Hawaii.
When are you guys going to Hawaii?
The same time you guys are going.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So that's why I told B-Ball, so I was able to save B-Ball like three something
Uh huh.
for his family.
Uh huh.
And then I asked him, I was like, oh, what's your parents' itinerary? And he said that you booked it.
Yeah. I'm actually
So
gonna. Yeah. No, I'm gonna try to rebook it later. I think probably the most I'll save is like $200-300 for everybody, but it's still something.
no,
What?
you save way more.
Really?
Yeah, because what you do is you book. So you cancel the whole itinerary. Everyone's on the same itinerary.
Yeah.
So you're gonna cancel the whole itinerary. How much did you spend?
I spent like with Nina's, I think it's like 2,500.
2,500.
Yeah.
So B-Ball just booked for three people and it cost them 380. So three people. So that's 276 per flight, right?
Yeah.
That's round trip. So
Yeah.
how many people did you book for?
And I booked for. There's a bunch of us. There's like I booked for 6 of us.
6.
Yeah.
So how much did you say you spent?
Hold on. I can't do numbers right now. I'm literally. I'm.
So the total that you'll be paying later is 1,650.
Can you
For
record
all
this?
you guys.
Can you, yeah. Oh, actually, you know what, Kenny? You are on camera right now. There's like literally 3 cameras pointing at me and a microphone, and we're having this discussion about 1 + 1 is 3. Let me get back to you. I know I'm gonna save somebody, but yeah, I'm gonna do
Can I say
it.
hi on your podcast?
Yeah, you can say hi. Say hello.
So I want to say hi to all of Titi's 300 followers.
Why you gotta hate on my followers? You know I'm not doing this for clout. You know, like honestly, this is not for the masses. This is for the people within my circle, and however big that circle gets is up in the air, and I don't really care. I'm not doing this for clout. I'm doing it for my people. Okay, everybody say goodbye to Kenny. Bye, Kenny. I'll hit you up later. Thanks, guys. Bye. Awesome. All right, let's roll.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's go. Happy Friday, everybody. Right now it's about 9:35. Friday, January. What's the date today? 16?
17.
January 17. Yay. So, holy Moses, we're actually here. So, just as a disclaimer to start off, I myself don't listen to any podcasts. And not because I don't want to, like I tried to listen to a couple and they were of interest for the first like 5-10 minutes maybe. And then it kind of got to the point where I didn't want to listen anymore. That said, why I'm doing this is because someone told me to. That's really how it started. It started with someone suggesting that I do one, and I'm like, I know I have a lot to say, but like, who wants to listen? And I realized that's not even the point. It's not about who's listening. It's about just getting my point across, whatever the point may be, and then inviting others to join in on the dialogue. So that said, that is really the premise of what's to come. And that is creating. So this is the realness of it all, okay? Like, I'm not, like, I can't plan for this stuff. It just happens. It's like story of my life. Shit happens, and you just kind of have to roll with the punches. Sound guy, you doing okay over there? So starting off, January 17 today is, right? 2020, brand new year. Super excited because for me, starting the new year, I mean, like, it's just another year. It's just like every other day. No, it's not. It's kind of not a blank slate, but a reset button for me, if you will. So every year we kind of, reevaluate our goals, reevaluate the situation and where we're at. And I'm not one to do New Year's resolutions because I don't really believe in that. But it's good to kind of have like a starting point, right? I mean, if we just kind of kept going day in and day out and, just the monotony of everything, it gets super boring. So it's good to have a fresh start. And that's why people do New Year's resolutions. I don't, but I do have short-term goals, right? It's weird for me to sit here and talk to everybody because I feel like I'm talking at you, and I'm not here to educate anybody or feel like I have something so important to say that I'm starting this podcast. But really, for me, I like conversation. I like opening up dialogue, and I feel like this is a good platform in which to do so. So yeah, I wanted to invite my family and friends to come on and talk about whatever is of interest to them. But being it my first episode, it was suggested to me that I just do it by my lonesome. And that's okay too, because I have no problem doing things on my own. So to that, doing things on your own, right? I think that a lot of people are really uncomfortable sitting with their own thoughts. They're uncomfortable eating alone, going to the movies alone, doing things by themselves because they feel maybe uncomfortable in their own skin, you know. For many reasons, I am both an introvert and an extrovert. And it's hard for people to relate because it's usually you're one or the other. And I don't believe that. I really believe that as social as I can be, I'm very much someone who could be by themselves and sometimes prefer it that way. I eat out a lot by myself. I feel like a meal is not only to nourish you. If I wanted just to nourish myself, I can eat anywhere and anything. But for me, it's part of the experience. It's going out and people watching. Like, I love people watching. I love making up stories in my head about what they're talking about. Like, I eavesdrop a lot. So if you're sitting next to me while you're having your meal, you bet your ass I'm probably listening. And I got no shame in that. And that's the thing. It's like, it's the same thing with social media. Like, the stuff that I put out there is just a fragment of my life. It is a segment. It doesn't necessarily represent me as a whole, but it's like part of my story, right? And the part that I'm willing to share with everybody. So yeah, when I'm listening in on conversations and I'm looking around the restaurant when I'm sitting by myself, it's really interesting to see that slice of the pie, the slice of someone's life, and kind of, see if it's relatable. And even if it's not, it's better that it's not. So I'm totally riffing here. What else do I want to say? Can I have some of that fancy tissue paper? You just throw it.
Getting emotional already?
No, it's not so much emotional. It's just really cold right now. It's literally colder in here than it is outside. Oh, look, there's a whole family in there. So
Doesn't get edited out.
that's fine too. We'll keep it real here. Was a little snot. So this morning I had my espresso, and for those of you who know me, and for those of you who don't, am I allowed to like say the whole name here? It doesn't matter, right? It's not like I'm getting paid for this. So I really like White Claw. and it's essentially it's a hard seltzer. It's kind of like you drinking tonic water, except it's got as much alcohol as a can of beer, right? So Ruben, we came in this morning. He didn't know what a White Claw was. I'm like, what? You don't know? Let me introduce you. Let me introduce you. It is delicious, y'all. It's first of all, it's very hydrating. As hydrating as any alcoholic beverage can be. But there are so many different brands. I'm not here just to like advertise White Claw. I'm really not. I'm like their unofficial ambassador. If anybody who knows me and who's never been introduced to it, you all know, like I come hard with the White Claw. But there's so many different ones. There's Bon Vie, that's like another favorite of mine. But my point being, I've had a dry-ish January. I've tried very hard not to drink, and also the other thing is not eating fast food, and fast food being any place that has a drive-through. That's my definition of a fast food. Today, it's been 2 weeks. This is my first hard seltzer. I mean, there's no head change. I'm not drunk or anything. I like it. I like it. But so, yeah, that's one of the things I want to do. So when I invite my friends on and you're sitting here as a guest, my only rule is that you have at least one of these, right? It's pretty easy. I'd like another, actually. Okay, I get to it. I feel like people are gonna think I'm an alcoholic. It's like it's 9:45, but that's okay. Y'all can think what you want to think. Like I said, you can judge me all day, just don't hold it against me. It's weird hearing the sound of my own voice, and it's a good thing I have these on. Thank you for grabbing these because I generally get really loud and I don't know how loud I am, but hearing myself through here makes me want to whisper and use my inside voice. It's my inside voice. That was not long lived. See, I'm aware, and when I laugh away from the microphone instead of up here and close. La, 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 la. Okay, I got a head change. Okay, let me get it together. Hold on. How's my hair? Is my hair straight? Is my wig on straight? You know, people have asked me if I'm wearing a wig, and I know that's kind of like the most backhanded compliment you could give me. I don't know, like, does it look so great that it looks like a wig? Or does it look so obviously like a wig, but it's really not? Like, I don't know which one is more messed up. So all week, I've been brainstorming about what I wanted to talk about. And my cousin said something really interesting to me. My cousin, I told him that I was going to do this podcast. And he says to me, what do you have to say? And I'm like, I have a lot to say. I just don't know who wants to listen. But that's the beauty of it, is that I'll give you guys an example. I have, I'm not a part of Facebook. I got off Facebook years ago. I just felt that it was really invasive, and I just really was bored at everyone's content. And so I joined Instagram, and Instagram to me is a big deal because it really allows people to get into their creative mode. You know, my stories for me are a big part of my day because it's very entertaining. I watch my own stories like 20 times, and I know it sounds narcissistic. I don't care. I literally watch my own stories all day long, and my brother always says to me, my brother Lo, he's like, you know, I always hear you laughing, and then I hear the sound of your own voice, and then you laughing on top of that. Like, are you just rewatching your videos all day? I was like, yeah, it's exactly what I'm doing. Because for me, like, that's like my artistic expression, my sort of my platform to create and be artistic, because I can't draw, I can't paint, you know, like I can't dance to choreography or do all those things that are considered like artistic ways to express yourself artistically. And so I have my Instagram stories. And it's super fun for me because it's part of my day-to-day life, but you take the monotony out of it because I don't have a set schedule. Same way I feel about life. Like, shit happens. Like, you can have guidelines and you can have rules and stuff, but like, things will happen that's out of your control, and you just kind of have to roll with the punches. And then to take that and then add creativity to it makes it fun for me. Yeah. How's your coffee, Ruben? Yeah. So I'm sitting here with Ruben. I just want to shout out Ruben real quick because I've known Ruben for a long time. I can't count right now. But from high school, right, Rube? From high school. And we've always been really good friends. And it doesn't matter if I talk to him once a month or once a year. Like, it's always good. Like, he's one of those guys. So Rube, I brought the idea of the podcast up to Ruben, and this wasn't that long ago, huh, Rube? And right away he was like, yeah, let's do it. I was like, oh, we're doing something? So he messages me one day, and he's got all this equipment that I'm surrounded by. I didn't even know where to start, to be honest. After we're done recording today, we haven't even figured out how to upload this. We just know we just need to get it started. And that's the beauty of it. Like, we're rolling with the punches. Like, I'm not here to be super serious. We can be serious if you want. But for me, it's just being able to speak and, like, you know, providing a platform for people to come on and speak freely. I think a lot of times people are so afraid to speak their mind because they want to adhere to a certain viewpoint and, like, just, oh, is that okay? So that's the sound of my sound guy opening up his first White Claw and taking a sip. Tastes like water, right, Ruben? Yeah, it's delicious. Enjoy. Where was I going with? I had a point. What was my point? I had a point. Okay, yeah, sorry. So my point being, creating dialogue. You know, like, it's not the reason why I'm doing this, but it became a reason because I feel like people are so uncomfortable with talking about a lot of things that are so important and necessary. So let's just take some of the big basics. I was told many years ago that between friends and family, we should never talk about religion, politics. What else, Ruben? Religion and politics are two of the big ones, right? They say not to talk about. And so I adhered to that, like, general rule because it makes people super emblazoned, like they're super angry about it because they have such a radical stance on these big issues. And so I shied away from that because I didn't want to stir the pot, essentially. Now, being where I am now in life, I feel like it's important to have these conversations and not just, particularly religion and politics, because there is no right or wrong answer. It's completely subjective. And for people to think that there's a right or wrong is ridiculous. And that's why people don't get along, you know? I think it's important to listen to other people and their viewpoints and then offer your own. And there is no right or wrong answer. And that's the beauty of conversation and starting the dialogue, is that you learn from other people by speaking and contributing, by sharing your viewpoints. And then you allow the other person to say something back, you know? And you have to have an open mind. You don't necessarily have to agree with them, and don't get pissed off. Just agree to disagree. And people have a really hard time doing that, particularly with religion and politics. But yeah, so I am here and I invite my friends and my family to come on and share their thoughts about whatever it is that drives them, whatever it is they're passionate about, and have a conversation, right? To that, the other thing is, for me, that's really important, is human connections, right? I love animals. Animals are great. But I love having conversations with other human beings because we are such complex creatures and we all have something to bring to the table because we all come from different backgrounds and we all have different experiences. And those experiences are what make us, are what drive us. And I've got a lot of stories, right? I've got a lot of stories. I haven't lived my full life, but like where I am right now and where I feel like I started, like my adulthood has been so full of shit. A lot has happened. I've had a very eventful life. And, just to go through it and experience all that I've experienced and then still feel like I've come out on top is like a really amazing feeling. I think me sitting here and being able to talk to everyone and not open yet and just share my stories as I will. And I invite all my friends and family to come on and share their stories. I think that, even if you can't relate, if you can relate, great. You understand where I'm coming from. And if you can't, then maybe it'll open up your eyes so that you could get a glimpse of, why I am the way that I am, what makes me tick, et cetera, et cetera. I'm going to open up the front door. This is fun. I didn't want you to do like a whole lot of editing, but I realize I'm rambling.
I'll teach you how to edit. So.
Okay. Feels so much better. Nature was calling like crazy. Yeah. So I guess I'll leave it there. Where am I leaving it? I'm leaving it here. Yeah, so this is my open invitation to friends and family who want to come on and create a topic. Like, what is it that you're interested in, and what is it that you want to share with everybody? And come on, we can have an open discussion and keep the ball rolling, because, like with this podcast, I did not know where to start. I'm totally rambling, but with everything, you got to start somewhere, right? You got to start somewhere, and here I am, and that is a start. Happy Friday, everybody.